What's up, good people? Welcome to SP Mbaz and CSA Times. We are right here with Manyatta, Member of Parliament, Gitonga Mukunji.
Formerly Kujituma.
Formerly Kujituma. And for real, Umejituma, you've seen this year you've been among top 5 most active young members of Parliament.
Not this year. Even last year I was still there.
Formerly Kujituma.
Actually, this year I reduced my contributions a little bit.
Why? What happened?
Just it's a matter of whether there are, as many motions as you can talk about. But still being there is also good.
Yeah. We are, congratulations for that.
It tells that I can get the speakers out and say something. Yes.
We are almost coming to an end of 2024.
Yes.
How's the year been for you?
Well, the year has been great, although with its ups and downs, as usual. But first is to say thank you to the people of Manyatta, the young people of Kenya, because as the chairman, young members of parliament, we also hold brief for the young people and the continued support that we have had from various quarters during this journey of leadership. And I say that one is, as a member of parliament, you have always to remember what you're gauged with. One is representation, the other one is legislation, and the other one is oversight. When you get to National Assembly, it is obviously that you have to learn the ropes very fast. And there is no time to even relax. You just have to learn as you move and work for your people. On matters oversight, of course, we have been very vocal on matters that really touch our people, especially on matters that are seen like they are affecting our people, matters corruption. We have been vocal on issues of usage of resources, and I believe, of course, this year is when we had a huge uproar from our young people, and we took that with stride as young members. We have had various forums with young people in the universities, young people in our regions, to actually try to understand them more. And I believe it is turned out that as a member of parliament in the region where it is on the government side, I decided to stand with a no during finance bill. And it shows that, of course, when it comes to representation and actually representing your people, you are listening to them. And that is a secret.
This festive season, TapTapSend makes it easier to connect with loved ones back home. Whether it's sending money for Christmas celebration, New Year's gifts, or helping in holiday expenses, you can send money from the USA, UK, EU, UAE, and Canada to Kenya. TapTapSend ensures great rates and zero transfer fees. Use the code SPMBAZ and get $30 bonus when you transfer $50 or more in your first transaction. TapTapSend, spreading festive cheers across borders. On that matter, let me ask you this. Allow me to ask this question. At that point, maybe, did it bring you maybe some issues with your political party? Because, how was it for you?
I normally say this without fear of any contradiction, that if it were not for the people that elected me, the people of Embu who are very famous as the people of Embu, I could not be where I am today. So my first bosses, before I get to any other level, is the people that gave me a chance. And I am one of the most consultative leaders. I consult widely when it comes to making decisions in the National Assembly or even developmental agendas. When we were doing these things, I was even in attendance to the meetings that were being said by the party to explain to us on matters of the finance bill. But when I consulted the people, it was very clear that they are not for the finance bill. And obviously, I disagree with many leaders that say, when you are elected, you represent without consultation. It is against the spirit of our Constitution, Article 1, and that I believe is something that we cannot encourage, especially as young leaders. The current population we have is a population that is very woke.
True.
It's very woke.
True.
It knows what is going on. It knows the laws that are being debated.
Yeah.
And even laws, some of the laws that are finding themselves in the pipeline of being, before they even get to the floor of the House, they are already out there. And you find things that have popped up that, including the Finance Bill 2024, matters to do with term limit that was being brought by a private member bill. People debated them even before those bills go to the floor of the House. And that tells you that the best way to know the best way to govern is to listen to their people. They cannot mislead you. They can only lead you to success. So I encourage all leaders to actually listen to the people more.
Did it maybe bring some issues?
Yeah, well, of course, at some point, as a young member of parliament, you wonder whether you are making the right steps.
True, true.
But I want to tell you that we are in a country where democracy and divergence of opinion must always be upheld. I am yet to find somebody victimizing me on my stance. I support what I feel, what I believe and what my people feel is right. I don't support what I believe or I feel is not right for my people. And that is my stand. My leadership style will always be that. That my people must understand what the government is doing for them. And I encourage that approach to even all other leaders. Because it tells you you're going to move with your people in whatever direction you are doing. The spirit of public participation is a spirit that is anchored in our Constitution. And Article 37 of our Constitution is very clear on freedom of access to information. I believe that that our Constitution, its main agenda is don't do things that people cannot align with. So what do you do if you want to do something? Start with the people. Convince them that it is right. Then you move and do whatever you want to do, because people will always support you. They will leave an oversight for you and ensure that whatever you want to do is successful. The people comes first. Let the people speak, then you follow as leaders. Yes. Now, looking at 2024, I've looked at a couple of your projects in your constituency. Yes. What would you say was your biggest, I don't want to use the term achievement, but project this year? Let me say that first, we have levels of government. If you go to my constituency, you'll find that constituency projects that are handled under National Government Constituency Development Fund are actually very visible. As a matter of fact, many people have said that is one of the most visible projects that are there in the constituency. The other projects that are very visible, and sometimes it becomes controversial because these are projects that are actually given through the budget of the National Assembly, are projects from the national government. I am in the committee that does markets, that does affordable housing, and that does urban planning. That is the committee I'm in. And I've been able to pull and bring to the constituency good projects that my people are very happy about and that are visible. Including the affordable housing? Yes, including affordable housing. It's very visible. I was among the first people to ensure that I give that to my people. And the fact of the matter is, all I'm saying is these projects must actually come in and help our people. Number one, through job creation. And it is obvious that we have created jobs with this project. Number two is ensuring that we give opportunities to our people and ensure that these government programs are able to be appreciated by the people of Manyatta and the people of Embu. But I want to say that we need to now do more and ensure that the people that are going to own even houses are people from the constituency and the hustlers. Now that we are putting the tag affordable housing, and all that will help us to now appreciate what the government is doing. Yes. Looking at the area that you represent in the National Assembly, Manyatta constituency, of course,
Manhattan.
Okay. I would say among the top economic activities right there, farming, livestock, things like that.
Yes.
We have had this debate online about the vaccination. First of all, we want to hear what's your stand, what are your sentiments concerning this whole story on vaccination?
Well, let me say that we are misleading the people if the politicians are the lead voice when it comes to matters vaccination. I mean, it is without a doubt that we have experts that have really studied matters to do with livestock diseases.
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate that it is politicians that are very loud on these matters. As a matter of fact, I feel sometimes it's misleading when politicians handle things that are experts and are professionals with them. And I put this rightly, even matters to do with health of our health systems.
Yeah.
Politicians are not the people that are supposed to hold brief for them. I read the statement by the veterinary organization of our country.
Yeah.
It was very clear that vaccination is a normal thing.
Yeah.
But of course, we cannot just come and say, politicians have said we vaccinate our cows, so we vaccinate. No, it's not right. Let us actually allow the experts to lead the way. And I disagree with anybody either trivializing this thing or saying we must do it, because it is not upon us as politicians to say what is supposed to do. And this comes even to human health. We have had politicians trying to direct on how women carried out their health issues. And mostly it ends up badly, because some will do that with an agenda in mind, others will do that for financial benefits. And the best thing to allow these things is to actually have experts lead the way.
So
when we have not done that, then I would say we are not going the right direction.
So far you think it should be optional, not mandatory?
What we should have
Yeah.
is experts actually coming in and explaining what is this that they want to vaccinate.
All right.
The diseases that are being mentioned,
Yeah.
are they, do we have an outbreak of these diseases? Why do we have to vaccinate? If it is about whatever fat control for cows, there's a need to know which other country has done it. I mean, let's not try to bring in agendas that are actually removing our country from key problems that we have.
Sorry.
We have a problem with debts. We have a problem with our economy. People don't have money in the pockets.
Yeah.
We have issues with jobs. And all these things are the things that we as leaders must be speaking about daily. But on cow vaccination,
allow me to tell you something that I've seen the PS, Jonathan Mweke, talk about this vaccination.
Yes.
He says that they have been to places like Dubai. There is meat markets. However, doesn't bring value, good value to the Kenyan farmer, because they say without that vaccination certificate, then ile pesa ambayo inaingia ni kidogo sana.
You
So
see,
that,
I will say this, I have heard what the PS has said.
Yeah.
But do we even have, are we producing enough livestock to even supply to Dubai market? Number one is we need to look at what we need to do to ensure livestock farming is lucrative and able to be satiable to the market in Kenya. You know very well, we import meat even from Uganda.
Sure.
So we have a challenge with even giving ourselves enough. Then we can say now we want to go to Dubai. But being that may, if there is a market in Dubai that requires vaccination, does it mean that the market in Dubai will allow all our 22 million cows to be vaccinated? Will we going to sell all our meat to Dubai? No. I believe the experts are supposed to lead the way on this. And I still insist that the vaccination of cows is supposed to be something that is looked at keenly so that in future, if something comes out from this vaccine, it's not something that we are going to say it is certain leaders, it is people that pushed for it, why was it pushed? And I'll go back. I have read history a little bit, and I found that there was a vaccination of people in the year, I don't know, 1986, 1985 there. And people who were vaccinated, 1987 there, actually developed certain challenges because it was a trial vaccine. These are not things that we can play with as a country. And I believe that we actually have to consult wisely. We have universities in Kenya. We have the universities of Nairobi. We have Egerton University that actually has taken matters agriculture as their front. There is a need to expert opinions on whatever is being brought. And this one goes all the way to even what we are getting as vaccines in our country. We have had vaccines, COVID vaccines, that are doubtable in the market. So the issue of vaccination is something that we have lived with, but it's not something we should always say, let it come. We are not guinea pigs for testing things. We are people who have an expertise we can depend on. We have vaccination, some originating from this country. We have people from in Cambridge, that have actually developed vaccines that have been used internationally. So I believe we have enough expertise. We need to read more on this. We need to know what is it. We need to know which countries are saying the reverse. We need to know this and that, and let politicians step back a little bit, allow the experts to lead the way.
So bottom line, we need expertise in this, because on the same, you've seen a couple of people, including Kikuyu Member of Parliament, Kimani Ichung'wah, talk on it, and looks like, do you feel, because I've seen a couple of Kenyans talk online and say, what if this is a driven agenda?
Well, and I think we have gone through these agendas. And I believe there is a lesson that needs to be learned by leaders. And when I say leaders, I don't want to pinpoint any leader. I also put myself in there. We have had issues in this country that have been pushed. Then another country does something that makes this thing look like it was dubious. We, as a country, must know when to push a certain agenda. Trivializing this matter into political rallies is actually ill-advised. It is ill-advised because issues to do with, actually, there should be public participation with experts coming up with very clear matters on why we want to carry out a certain national agenda. And we have seen it with Adani. Adani was, everybody was saying, oh, Adani what, Adani what. But then when the US gave a certain report on the Adanis, things changed.
Does it mean?
And it changed, and everybody now was saying a different thing. We have to ensure we don't trivialize or actually embarrass ourselves as a leadership and as a nation.
So this means public participation in our country is not given the kipaumbele ambayo inafaa kupewa.
Yeah, and it should also not be, if you are saying this is not right, that you are against this administration. It should be that the divergent in opinion must be guided with facts. And many countries must have always had divergent opinion, but when facts are laid on the table, nobody asks question. When Adani was exposed as a corrupt fella in the US, there was no question. People said he should not proceed with the project. And even members of parliament clapped.
I know. Even those that were in agreement of it.
Even
before,
the one that was saying, why are you refusing Adani? They clapped.
Talking about members of parliament and the public, we have a group that thinks now kidogo wa Kenya wamefika mahali they are opposing everything, including the president. He says he has a lot of people. He says there's no way. Every time he brings a new project, or most of the times when he brings a new project, he gets opposition from the people. Mheshimiwa, do you think kidogo unaendaje? Sababu wengine wanasema kidogo there is a team that is against this government that is using the people to sabotage their projects.
Well,
or is it misinformation?
I would say
Yeah.
I have heard the president many times say that opposition is important.
True.
And even when Raila Odinga was in the streets, he was saying, you are actually
putting him on toes.
Yes, and it is right.
Yeah.
And I believe now that there was a formation of the opposition joining government, I don't believe now it's the time we are supposed to say now the opposition has come in. Basically, I would advise him differently. I would advise him to be very keen and listen to divergent opinion. And the way to success of any leadership is when you listen keenly to the people that are saying the negative of what you are saying. Countries such as Israel have what we call devil's advocate office that looks at something that the government is proposing and goes full throttle to criticize that thing, so that when it is coming to be done, it is beyond perfection. We have had problems where good agendas of this country come to the table, they're embraced by everybody, but they start bringing problems. The problems we're having in Shire and Shif are things that even members of parliament did not anticipate. Because the passing of the bill is one thing, implementation of it is another. So I would actually dissuade the president not to condemn the people opposing any of his agendas, but I would actually urge him to listen to them more. Because these are not opposition leaders who are paid to oppose. Those ones have already joined government. But these are genuine people saying, no, hii haileti, hii ingine inaleta. And especially when you look at Kenyans online, Kenyans on X, they lay things that you'd like to, as a scholar, you should study. And I believe those are platforms that we have to allow as a country so that we can improve our democracy and give good governance. And many Kenyans agree that things have actually not been going right. The fact of the matter is confidence has been eroded in leadership in many areas, in many quarters, including the National Assembly, where I am. There is a need for leaders to prove the population otherwise. How do you prove the population otherwise? Face them and show them whatever you're doing is right. Let it work.
We have less than 3 years. Is it possible?
It is very possible. Even a day is possible because it is a matter of ensuring that these things work. When we say there is corruption in government, let it be seen clearly that there has been improvement in matters to do with oversight and curbing of corruption. When we say healthcare, the side of collection is okay, but the side of service is not okay, everybody, including the president, interacts with people daily. He has to have that information. It is not a matter of supporting or not supporting. It is whether things are working or not. The funding model, the university funding model, the uproar that was there, if the public kept quiet, right now we could have even half of our population not doing higher education. So I believe leaders must embrace that part of listening to the opposition.
What would you tell maybe a couple of members of parliament who have been on the spotlight? I'll still mention Kimani Ichung'wah. The other day, while giving his opinion about this whole story of vaccination, he used some words that were hata mimi siwezi kutaja hapa because you know what word of advice would you give such, because looking at how Kenyans are receiving them even in other places pale kwenye ground, not so nice.
Well, I believe as leaders, we should not be deemed to be arrogant. It is against the spirit of success of this administration to be deemed as a leader as arrogant. As I've said, Kenyans have become very woke. They are aware of every single move, every single step. The arrogance shown by some of the leaders is actually something that I want to condemn in the strongest term possible. And I want to say that as a young leader, I have embraced leadership of down-to-earth, leadership that involves your interaction with the people in the normal levels, so that you can even serve them better. You cannot serve people better when what you say is actually seen as actually looking down upon the people you serve. And I believe the majority leader should actually show the direction on that. I believe the few times that he has come out in such a language is actually something that I feel sad about, because he is the majority leader of this country. So those are things that, and maybe if you watched during the launch of our, as the Kenya Young Parliamentarians, when we were launching the strategic plan, the president clearly said that he has corrected some of the pronunciations by the majority leader many times, which are deemed to come out in a way that it is showing some arrogance. So I believe he should tone down. He should know now he is in the high ranking level of leadership in this country. Yes,
I'll say those were maybe some same sentiments said by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
True.
Now we also,
and even Uhuru Kenyatta that was visited the other day, he said in Embu clearly that you cannot have a leadership that is actually increasing the gap between itself and the people. Let us come together and support this country to go ahead and be developed.
Talking about former Deputy President, of course, when the temperature was a little bit hotter on the whole thing during his impeachment, you voted no. Now we saw yesterday.
The impeachment?
Yes, on the impeachment. We saw yesterday, and it looks like maybe come 2027, Gachagua and Kalonzo probably forming a coalition. I don't know what you have to say about that. The other day we saw him say that come 2025 he's going to give a political party to the people of the mountain, or maybe Kenyans at large.
You know, let me say, as a person who is looking at these things from a point of a young leader, I believe Kenyans are supposed to actually look in different perspectives. Number one, I believe right now on matters to do with the leadership of and coalitions of 2027 is not a very good agenda to put on the table, because we must actually ensure we deliver to our people. I want to say this, and I'm saying this without fear of anybody, that it will come a time in this country where we are not going to be looking at individuals when it comes to leadership. And you'll be shocked, even in 2027, people are not going to look at parties. People are going to look at leaders that are going to ensure that there is success in the development of this country. And the people that stand with the people are the hardest and at the lowest of the population we have had are the people that are going to be successful in leadership. And we welcome all these alliances. We welcome them. They are well welcome. But let it not be that these are things that are trying to come up so that you can plan a country. No, it's the leadership of this country must be put in the level of ideologies and things that are going to develop our country. I believe That is the only way
Yeah.
that we can come out of problems. As I've said, we have issues of debt. Our debt is now touching almost 70% against the GDP. That is dangerous. We need to know how to get out of that. People don't have money in the pockets. These are things that we are supposed, as leaders, to be keeping us awake at night. But not who, somebody has said height, who. No, I believe I will not fall into that trap of that kind of leadership. And as a young leader, we have to provide a direction that shows beyond tribal alliances and beyond personality cults, we are able to come together and help this country grow. We have a huge population of youth, over 70%, that are actually today not having jobs. The agenda of the government to take our youth to other countries to work is an agenda that should not be the one that we are highly and loudly talking about. The agenda should not be taking people to Qatar and the rest. It should be how we are creating jobs here. And every leader has a responsibility to ensure that his people get something in this country where they are born.
So you are not okay with this whole thing of youths being taken for jobs in other countries?
Well, let me clear it very clearly. I am not against, but it should not be the loudest way of creating jobs from government. There should be 3 more ways. 1, issue to do with embracing value addition. 2, ensuring that we create opportunities for our young people, even in government, and actually incentivizing people to start entrepreneurial journeys before we get to taking people to Middle East and Dubai as a way of getting jobs. It should not be the loudest thing. And that is why government agenda such as ICT hubs is something that we have embraced. Government agenda on value addition and reduction of material is something that we have embraced, but not the issue of saying our youth should go to Gulf region to do jobs that are not making sense. And it should also be, that is why you can see Kenyans are actually getting angry. Because if that is what is being put on the table by the government, then we are in a big mess, very big mess.
Talking about the priorities that have been set right now, of course among them the 2027 whole debate. Kenyans right now, or even other people maybe in with a political interest, have a problem with Iebc not being put in place. Yes, we get to hear maybe your opinion on that.
Yes. Let me say Iebc is dysfunctional as it is right now. And this one is something that should worry Kenyans. Because among our strength in democracy is free, fair, transparent elections. If that is not coming forth, this country is going to burn. And any leader who would think that can take us back to the years of 2020, 2007 and below is ill-advised. Let me say this. One is the issue of NADCO report and the recommendations thereof are very clear. And I believe the issue of court is also something that is also complicating this matter.
Do you think it's taking a lot of time?
I believe there is a failure in courts on decisions, that matter on decisions. Number 2, there is also some dubious and very unclear, fishy agenda of ensuring that our IBC is dysfunctional. We have not done justice to even constituencies that require a member of parliament to have their service. And this is against the constitution. So there is a need for Chief Justice Koome to come out clear on even this matter, because it is, if it is in the courts, it should be handled. If it is out of court, we will ask questions to whomever it is at. And I believe that whoever has taken them to court, whoever has sponsored or not sponsored them to take this matter of formation of the selection committee to court, then we have to solve that quickly so that we can move on. So we have not done mass registration. We have young people, Gen Zs, have not registered as voters, and it is in millions. Number two, should be, and it is under our act, election act, to have continuous voter registration, which has not been happening. There are softwares that require to be prepared early enough to ensure the supervision and transparency of our election is clear. There is also a matter of the leadership and budgets that has been constraining our preparation to elections. Election is not a day thing. It is a process. It is actually a cycle, and it starts immediately an election ends. Preparation of the next election must prepare immediately. So if there are things that I want to hear people getting vocal about, and that I'm adding my voice about, is we need Iebc ready, and we need it ready now. We have issues to do with boundary review that was supposed to happen in the year 2024. We are already against that. And I believe these are things that should worry Kenyans. These are things that Kenyans must start raising eyebrows about.
Now, who do they cry to?
Well, it is obvious. Number one is the courts. Because a matter, from what we have seen with the impeachment of the second deputy president, I believe courts can be quicker than they are on matters such as Iebc. We can have a matter being concluded in 2 days.
It's possible.
Yes.
It's possible.
Yes. Walituonyesha wanaweza kuwa na speed. We want the court to embrace the energy that they had with the impeachment process of Rigathi Gachagua. Let them embrace that, even to show shows that are claiming their land has been stolen. And that is how. Even corruption cases. We need corruption cases concluded within 2 weeks. Just like the Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment and court process took 2 weeks. Yes.
All right. Now, moving on, we've seen the cabinet has endorsed a bill that imposes a 10 million fine against officials disrupting the presidential transition. Mheshimiwa, I want you to enlighten Kenyans, because looking at posts concerning this, looks like Kenyans are a little bit not much informed, or are not don't have so much information about this whole thing.
So, well, let me first say that endorsement of a bill by the cabinet does not mean the bill has passed. That bill must come to the National Assembly and to the Senate for just now for it to become an act. Now, I have gone through what has been reported from the cabinet, and one of the things that is very clear, that the transition period, if you have a government in place and there is a new government coming in, the support of the current government to the one that is coming in, sometimes if the current government is the one that has lost, brings a lot of headaches when it comes to the transition and to the other government settling in power. I want to say I support fully the agenda that the cabinet secretaries can serve until a new cabinet secretary gets into the office. This helps by ensuring that nobody will clear the coffers, ensure no handing over is done, and whoever is coming in can start with a clean slate, whereas government is a continuous organ. It cannot break. It has to continue. It also gives the power that we will not only depend on services. Every time there is a change, we now start new agendas. We can have that continuous agenda of government. Number two, I have seen that any public officer that actually colludes to stop the transition is fined. We have seen public officers actually sabotaging handover, and not only in government, national government, but also in county governments. So mostly you find, especially people who have been removed by within one term, bring a lot of problems. So I believe now the law must come in to compel them to hand over power. There is also something that happens when somebody really doesn't want to hand over power. So he refuses to show up to the inauguration ceremony of the current leader, the one that is coming in. I believe the law is saying that that can continue. The handing over can continue without the person. Helps if somebody ever tries to hold this country at ransom. And it also helps us not to depend on military force whenever there is such issues. So it's a law that we are going to debate. Let it be out there in public also. And as I have said, public these days is very woke. Let us discuss it and debate more. By the time we go back to the National Assembly after recess, then we will have actually seen and read the bill well, so that we can be able to see whether there is any hidden agenda in that. Yes.
As we wind up, Mheshimiwa, allow us now to talk about you. Form ni kujituma.
Yes.
Kidogo.
Kujituma ndio form.
Kujituma ndio form. Tuambie 2027.
Yes.
What are your plans?
No, my plans are not for 2027. They are for 2024 December and 2025, 2026, up to 2027. Because the people of Manyatta constituency gave me an opportunity to actually serve them as a member of parliament. And at a very young age. So it gives me that obligation to actually prove that you can be given an opportunity as a young person and be able to do things that people will be happy about. One of the things that has stood out for me is, for my people, I can go against any wave and I can stand my ground without fear. And I believe that is the definition of leadership that we need in this country. And you can be able to actually make independent decision of leadership that can be able to be seen as decisions of a leader, not of a person that is being carried out. And I want to encourage leaders. We are first chosen by the people, then taken to the National Assembly. We must serve our people first before we serve either the opposition or government. And we can't be people singing choruses. We have to represent our people and do what is good for our people.
Maybe given a chance, come 2027, will you take the gubernatorial seat, Embu County?
The whole idea here, and I have said, is my leadership must always be people-centered.
So given a chance,
the people of Manyatta will speak loudly and tell us which direction we are going to go. But I am capable of any position, including the presidency. Yes.
So in future, you're planning to get to that?
I am just saying that it is not upon me to actually
declare
that. It is upon the people who feel the leadership being offered can serve to this rank or that rank. And if we do that as a people, we can be able to get the best leaders. Yes. For now, I have to do what it takes to ensure the people of Manyatta and people of Embu and people of this republic feels I'm serving them well as a member of parliament.
All right.
Yes.
Kidogo naona hilo jibu umeweza kuhepa, lakini it's all right. We wait for the people of Manyatta constituency to give their voice on it.
To give their voice on it.
All right.
And now, on this video, they will say. Yeah.
Now, finally, Mheshimiwa, we have seen, we have nomination of cabinet secretaries. Just a few hours ago, we have seen Honorable Mutahi Kagwe nominated as the cabinet secretary, Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. Honorable Lee Kinyanjui for the CS Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, Honorable William Kabogo, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, reassignment of CSS, Honorable Salim Vuria, Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, and now Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen as the under the Ministry of Interior and National Administration. What do you think?
No, I will not talk much about that nomination. I just feel like we should give youth, young people more opportunities. Yes.
Do you think youths have been represented here?
No, we can see Mutahi Kagwe is, those are names that have always been there and they have served and served and served. I believe the Gen Zs also deserve a position hapo katikati. Yes.
Kwa hivyo vijana pia
waongezewe hapo. Hiyo moja imebaki ipewe vijana.
All right, we wait and see.
Yeah,
Probably the president will hear that and the voices of the youths of this country.
Yes.
Asante sana mheshimiwa for your time. We wish you all the best as we wait for the people of Manyatta constituency to give their voice. Because looking at the project sincerely, I saw a comment on one of a social media page under your constituency.
Yes.
And people are like, now, looks like it's time for you to extend this grace, this performance to other constituencies in other, in Embu County.
Yes.
But time will tell.
We do what we do. We put our best foot forward.
Yeah.
We put God first. And we listen to the people. That is the secret. And I believe anything that I do, I do it from the heart. As I normally say, form ni kujituma. And that slogan has been my slogan for life. That you have to wake up, you have to dust yourself and push yourself to the limit. All these things we are talking about, they are not, I'm a first-time member of parliament. But you have to push yourself and make sure that you even put your best foot forward. Na ukijituma maneno itakuwa sawa. Usipojituma utatumika. Na ukitumika utatupwa.
All right, asante sana mheshimiwa. As we wind up, message to the Kenyan youth, especially because you represent the young parliamentarians. Message to the Kenyan youth and the people of Manyatta constituency.
Well, I just want to say Merry Christmas to the people of this republic of ours. Happy New Year and year of blessings. Let us continue ensuring that we as Kenyans remain true to ourselves. And I want to say thank you to many Kenyans of goodwill that love this country and wish this country the best. And we are waiting to see the 2025 year, what it brings to us. All I'm saying is we as young parliamentarians and as the chairman of young members of parliament, we are going to ensure that we actually put the best foot forward to ensure the young people of this republic feel represented. Yes.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Until next time, remember, you can find us on all platforms, Siasa Times, SP Members KE. You can find me too at I_am Shiko Gitao.